So, you've probably been hearing the term AI agent popping up everywhere, right? Well, you're definitely not alone. And look, this isn't just another piece of tech jargon. It's one of the biggest shifts happening in technology right now. And honestly, getting a handle on it is becoming a really crucial skill. So let's dive in and figure out what this is all about. All right, let's kick things off with a number that's pretty hard to ignore. A recent study from McKinsey suggests that AI and agents could automate up to half of all current work in less than a decade. Now, I know, a number like that can sound a little intense. It's easy to start wondering what that means for our jobs. But that's not the whole picture. Because if you flip that coin over, you see this massive opportunity. See, the same reports that talk about automation also show that companies are desperate to hire people who actually get AI. Being AI literate, just understanding how this stuff works, is fast becoming the key to not just getting by, but really thriving. It's less about being replaced and way more about being supercharged. To really grasp this opportunity, you have to meet the star of the show, the AI agent. And probably the best way to think about an agent is to picture your own personal digital worker. This is a whole new kind of AI that goes way beyond just chatting. It's built to take action. So what's the simplest definition we can use? An AI agent is a digital worker that can understand your instructions and then, this is the key part, take actions to complete tasks for you. That's it. The two words to remember here are understand and act. This analogy just nails the difference between an agent and a basic chatbot. You know, think of a simple chatbot as a waiter who can only tell you what's on the menu. They can give you info, but that's where it stops. An AI agent, though, is like a waiter who not only tells you the specials, but then takes your order, sends it to the kitchen, and actually brings your food to the table. It can do things. Okay, so how does this digital worker, work? What's going on under the hood? It's kind of like a human employee. You need a brain, you need memory, you need tools to do your job. An AI agent is pretty similar. It's built from 5 key components. First, it's got a brain. That's a large language model like GPT-4, which does all the thinking. Second, it needs instructions, basically the prompt that tells it how to behave. Third is memory, so it can remember what you've talked about. You can also give it specific knowledge, like your company's internal docs. And finally, and this is the most important part, it has tools. And seriously, don't sleep on the tools. They're the real game changer here. I mean, the brain is smart, for sure, but the tools are what give it power. This is what turns it from something that just talks into something that actually does. This is how it takes action out there in the digital world. So yeah, let's go a little deeper into this superpower, its tools. At a high level, tools are just what let an agent talk to other software. But how does that actually happen? Well, the secret is something you use literally every single day, probably without even thinking about it. The technology behind these tools is something called an API. It stands for Application Programming Interface. I know that sounds super technical, but there's a great way to think about it. And yep, we're back to waiters in a restaurant. It's actually pretty simple. 1, you make a request, that's you ordering your food. 2, the API, our digital waiter, takes that request back to the server, which is the kitchen. And 3, the server sends back a response. Your food shows up at the table. Almost everything you do online, from watching this right now to checking your email, follows this same simple pattern, request and response. So really, when we talk about an agent's tools, that's all we're talking about. It's the agent's ability to use these APIs, these digital waiters, to interact with all the other software out there. It's like having a personal assistant who can press all the digital buttons for you, but, thousands of times faster than any human ever could. Now, having an agent that can use one tool, that's cool, it's useful. But the real magic, the thing that changes everything, is when you give an agent multiple tools and it can figure out how to use them together to get complex stuff done. This is where we go from a single digital worker to a whole digital workforce. Let's walk through a quick example. Imagine you tell an agent, research new startups and email me a report. An advanced agent can break that down just like a person would. First, it uses its web search tool to find the data. Then it uses its spreadsheet tool to create a new file. It plugs all the info into that sheet, uses another tool to write up summaries, and then finally it grabs its email tool to send you the finished report. It's a whole chain of actions all done completely on its own. So when you see that in action, you realize, okay, this is way more than just a single assistant. This is the very beginning of a digital workforce. And that 50% automation number we started with, suddenly it starts to look less like a threat
and a lot more like an invitation to become the person who builds, manages, and leads these new digital teams.
Which brings us to the last and maybe the most important question. Now that you get the basic idea of an AI agent, this digital worker with a brain, instructions, and tools, what's the first tedious, time-consuming, or just plain annoying task you would hand over to yours? The possibilities are really just starting to open up.